Along this back fence, we have a long-term project. As you probably have seen in previous videos, there are some new varieties that we have come up with, and they're on some of these trees. It was many years ago that I grafted scions from interesting seedlings onto some established or more established rootstock. And we have numbered these, and for instance, this tree right here is 33, and we got fruit last year from 33, and it was quite popular. So 33 is one that we're happy to have around. It's been very popular, and we're looking forward to some more fruit this next season. But we're just a couple trees down. We get to 30. And 30 here, another one of the trees that had fruited for the first time this past season. But 30 is a tasty variety. For me, it was pretty good, but it did not pass the fiber test. And so 33, wonderful. 30, not really going forward with. So I have a saw, and I am going to cut this tree back, and then when it sprouts out, we will graft another seedling, interesting seedling onto it, and wait a few years and see how that works out. So we've got 30 painted right on it, and it is suddenly going to become, well, not so suddenly with a handsaw, but become a shadow of its former self. There we go. First limb off. Come on, Roo. So what I think I'm going to do is I'll remove a few more branches or parts of branches, but I'm going to leave some of these leaves on just to keep the sap flowing through the tree, and then I'll come back and either cut more or start grafting. Well, this really, wish the saw were a little sharper, but oh well. So here's a situation, you know, it's got nice new growth out of here. These are okay parts of branches and such, but I think it's best just to eliminate this. This is sort of a nasty looking part, so as long as I'm going to be top working this, I'll just cut it above this nice healthy young branch, or branch to be. That should be a much better place to heal. Nice and clean cut. So My original thought actually has just changed. Originally I thought I would cut this back even further, let it sprout out, and those sprouts, you know, once they get sort of a little bit firm and stuff, they're perfect for grafting anything onto. But I'm thinking right now that I'm going to leave these young shoots on and wait for some more. There should be some more emerging from these areas that don't have any green growing from them. But while I'm waiting for the new shoots to develop on these larger diameter areas, I can graft onto these other places that have these lovely young shoots here. So I think this is just about all I'm going to do at this point. We will check back on this later and see how things are going, but it does look like I could get a lot of varieties on here and try out a lot of different varieties on the same tree. If one or two of them, you know, the new seedlings, you know, produce really nice fruit, then those are the ones, of course, will propagate. And then if other ones, like this parent tree, or what is now the, you know, basically rootstock for this other project, if it's like that with all that fiber, nice taste, but a lot of fiber, then we will just not go forward with those varieties. But it looks like we could get close to 10 varieties on this tree to try out. So I always am sort of sprouting out interesting varieties, the seeds from varieties that I really like, and sometimes there's a difference in what that seedling will produce, what type of fruit the seedling will produce. So we will be visiting good old 30 here in the future and see, you know, how life goes for 30. So that's pretty much it. We have this big pile of branches here, and we have a much skinnier tree and a project. So we're always trying to come up with some new varieties, and you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes a perfectly wonderful fruit will have a seed that the seedling will produce a fruit that's not as good as the parent. That's just how it goes. But sometimes you get a really nice fruit. So in the case of 30, of course, there were some pluses, but overall not a tree that we wanted to go forward with. We have a lot of seeds that we produce here, a lot of fruit, and so this next mango season we will be selecting some interesting fruit to harvest the seeds from and to grow the seedlings out and to put on the trees. It's really not something that we are really banking on as far as getting a great new variety, but if you don't, you know, go through this process, you can't have a great new variety. You have to have some way of growing out an interesting seed to see if the fruit that it produces is actually superior. So we're crossing our fingers on this one. So years ago, I sprouted out interesting seeds that actually, a lot of cases, came from other farms and such, because we didn't have the variety of mangoes that we have now. We have over 150 varieties of mangoes, which makes it really complicated during mango season. But even with that number of varieties, we're always looking for the next great mango. Unfortunately, 30 was not the next great mango. It was a tasty mango, but lots of fiber. And so we have to be strong and, you know, eliminate 30, but 30 is going to be fine, a fine home for lots of other scions from seedlings. Now, mangoes from this past season, the ones that were particularly interesting or unique to me, I actually sprouted out. I have at least 10 seedlings from last season that once they get to a good stage, I can harvest a scion from them and graft that scion onto this tree. So it's a long process and requires something that I don't often have a lot of, which is patience. So basically what I'm going to do is, sometime soon, probably within the next couple of months, I will graft the scions from those very interesting seedlings that I have. And then I'll try not to think about it because it's going to be a long time before those scions will actually grow enough and be mature enough to produce a fruit. But even though it's going to be a long time, I'm still very interested in this project because I really like tasting new varieties even when they're not good, because I'm just curious of what they might taste like. And so this tree, formerly 30, is going to provide a good chance to taste several seedlings, new varieties, possibly. I say possibly because some of those seeds might have come, or seedlings might have come from a polyembryonic seed, in which case it might be a clone of the parent. But anyway, this is still a project that I'm looking forward to. I have to just, of course, get the scions from the interesting seedlings that I have, and then try not to think about it.